1764 accidental assault. 10 days later, on the original ruins, there has been a continuous house. Because it is a camp that needs to live for a long time, the two sects' disciple were built. No effort is spared, nothing is sloppy. These houses do not look exquisite, but they are extremely practical. Living in them is just like living in their respective sects, except that the world's spiritual energy is slightly lacking. But this is not a big problem. If you really want to practice, you can rely on St. Crystal. The roads of the ruins are all around, and there is a night pearl hanging every some distance, exuding soft rays of light, and the brightly lit that reflects the dark ruins, which is very lively. Yang Kai has already told Qian Tong and Yi Siyun about the locations of the 8 mineral lodes explored by On. How the two sects mine these 8 mineral lodes, he doesn't bother to worry about it. Naturally, Qian Tong and Yi Siyun responsible for support. If you need more manpower, you can also replenish it from Gloom Star at any time. Yang Kai has arranged everything for them. Not only that, everything is in order here. After the disciplines started mining minerals, Yang Kai went out alone. Within this radius of 10 million li, 3 space laws were arranged in different locations one after another. Formation. In the next several decades, these space law formations arranged by Yang Kai will ensure that martial artists from Gloom Star can easily and conveniently move within the radius of 10 million li. A month later, Yang Kai is going to leave. After all, his original intention was to open up the connection between Gloom Star and the outside world, and found that this ore star was just an inadvertent harvest, that's all. Since this place is on the right track, it doesn't make much sense for him to stay. Standing on the ruins, Yang Kai in the heart calls Stone Puppet. He never took Stone Puppet back, because this place is simply a paradise belonging to Stone Puppet. By devouring all kinds of rare minerals, Stone Puppet can be powerful owner. If the same kind of minerals are swallowed up to a sufficient amount, it can even derive the divine ability belonging to On. For example, its lava armor. It is the ability it gained after devouring the refining sun's true fire. The lava armor A1 came out, and no one within 10 zhang could approach it. The hot temperature was enough to make Void Return Stage Powerhouse a strategic withdrawal. Anyway, the amount of minerals on the ore star is huge. No matter how much Stone Puppet swallows, it can't be swallowed much, so Yang Kai hasn't paid much attention to it these days. But when he was calling Stone Puppet at the moment, he found that Stone Puppet had gone deep underground. I don't know how many 10,000 zhangs, and I don't know if he found anything good. Sneezing Yang Kai's call, Stone Puppet came up slowly from below. 1 hour later, Stone Puppet re-emerging in front of Yang Kai. But Yang Kai couldn't help being stunned. Because of the status of Stone Puppet, it seems something is not right. Stone Puppet has always been silly before getting bigger, because its spiritual wisdom is not high, so it is intuitively reflected from the outside, but at this moment, it seems even more dumbfounded. Even the charm that originally existed in his eyes disappeared. When I walked, it was swaying and staggering, as if drunk. Yang Kai was taken aback, thinking that Stone Puppet swallowed something that shouldn't be swallowed, and something unexpected happened, but after a closer inspection, he was surprised to find that Stone Puppet was not what accident happened. Its physical condition has never been better. Moreover, Yang Kai also perceives a special and strange power from it within the body. This kind of power seems familiar, just like when he refining Gloom Star's star source, after becoming a Star Master, he felt the heaven and earth law that enveloped Gloom Star. Law power, Yang Kai complexion changed drastically, and he quickly investigated more carefully. After a while, he took back the spiritual mind with a gloomy and uncertain face. It feels wrong to own not at all. Stone Puppet within the body does have a trace of law power, but it is very slight. Compared with the law of Gloom Star, it is simply one is heaven and other is earth. But the law is the law after all, that is the domain that the Void King stage can't touch. Stone Puppet within the body, how could trace of law power be born in an unfathomable mystery? Recalling where it was before, Yang Kai's eyes lit up, and a bold guess emerged in his heart. You swallowed the origin of this dead star. Does it still have origin? Stone Puppet raised his dim eyes and looked at Yang Kai with a dazed look, then raised one foot, turned in place a few times, and fell to the ground with a splash of dust. Yang Kai didn't know whether to cry or laugh, and realized that Stone Puppet is not at all dangerous, just because of the faint law power that made it a little difficult to digest, causing some uncomfortable reactions. And put it into the space ring. But this kind of thing is still beyond Yang Kai's expectations. Furthermore, such a dead star still has some of its origin, which is really surprising. Dead star is impossible. Because there is no spiritual energy, there will be no heaven and earth law. Naturally, there will be no origin. Just like after death, flesh body rots, body dies and Tao disappears. But there are always exceptions. According to Yang Kaion's previous speculation, this dead star was originally extremely rich, but in millions and millions of years as time goes by, it gradually died. If it has some of its origin, it is not impossible. Stone Puppet had obviously gone deep underground to refining the trace of the remaining source. This is the blessing of its own. If it is the origin of a real cultivation star, Stone Puppet is basically impossible to refining. This kind of refining is completely different from the refining when Yang Kai became a Star Master. The Star Master and cultivation star are closely related, sharing honor and disgrace. After Yang Kai became the Star Master, the origin of Gloom Star still exists, and there is a mysterious connection with him, which allows him to have a lot of convenience in Gloom Star that others cannot have. Stone Puppet directly swallows and absorbs. Its source of refining disappears and will only become its powerful capital. All kinds of thoughts passed through Yang Kai's mind, and he was sure that owner's guess should be correct. Since Stone Puppet is okay, Yang Kai is no longer so worried. After talking to Qian Tong Yi Siyun, he left the Ore Star and continued on the way forward. Advancing in the star territory is lonely and boring, especially all around, there is no cultivation star at all. Through the star chart, Yang Kai was able to confirm that the nearest cultivation star to own is at least a year away. He is not impatient, and sometimes falls on an advancing meteorite. While practicing, he lets the meteorite advance with his own. Sometimes he would go to a certain dead star to see if he could find anything else. But dead star is dead star after all. Yang Kai has searched for many dead stars, but nothing has been gained. It was really an accident that there was such a big discovery last time. That kind of accident, it shouldn't be a second time. However, in a certain dead star he passed, he left a hidden super space law formation to connect with the previous one. During this time, Stone Puppet has been asleep in his space ring with no sign of movement, but Yang Kai has keenly discovered that Stone Puppet seems to have extra one layer thick outside the body, such as something like impurities slowly wrapped it up, forming a stone cocoon-like thing. Stone Puppet was in the same state before he was born. Can Stone Puppet evolve? While Yang Kai was suspicious, he was also looking forward to it, wondering what changes would happen on the day Stone Puppet emerges from the cocoon. He also faintly noticed the one-layer barrier after practicing these days. That is the shackles of Void King stage. Only by breaking through this barrier can you achieve the honor of Void King stage. At this time, if you can find a cultivation star and retreat for about a year, Yang Kai will have the confidence to try it once and try to see if Own can be promoted smoothly. On this day, Yang Kai habitually investigated the situation of Stone Puppet. Because Stone Puppet hasn't moved in this year, he basically checked every time. Until now, Stone Puppet has nothing unusual, but this time, I felt that Stone Puppet was about to break out of the cocoon. In joy, Yang Kai wanted to find a place to stay for a while, waiting for Stone Puppet to complete the evolution of Own. After watching all around, Yang Kai rushed straight towards the nearby meteorite sea. This piece of meteorite sea is quietly suspended in the void, not at all signs of movement, just as a place to stay. But when Yang Kai approached the meteorite sea, he suddenly became frowned. He noticed that there are living auras hidden in the meteorite sea, and there are more than one. Although those auras are hidden, each one is extremely powerful, and they are all void return stage powerhouses. Thanks to the power of Yang Kai divine consciousness, otherwise, I really can't find it. This group of people hides here sneakily, obviously there is some plan. Yang Kai felt bad luck and didn't want to be caught in the muddy water, so he turned around and left. But his figure moved, and a glimmer of light suddenly flashed in the distance, and then, an unrolled bolt of white silk-like rays of light shot straight from behind a meteorite. The rays of light contain unimaginable terrifying power. Even if it is separated by several dozen li, it is instantaneous, causing Yang Kai to feel a sense of tightness in the skin. Void King stage. Yang Kai complexion sank. There is a Void King stage powerhouse hidden in the meteorite sea. He didn't even notice it just now. Although with his current strength, he is already invincible under the Void King stage, but facing the Void King stage, he still dare not take it lightly. Void King stage and Void Return stage are completely different, otherwise there would not be that many Void Return 3-layer powerhouse. You will be stuck on the level of Void King stage for a lifetime, and you will never be able to make an inch up. The opponent made a sudden move, obviously intending to kill Yang Kai with a single blow. Those who can shoot underestimated Yang Kai's ability. Faced with such a terrifying blow, Yang Kai gave a long roar and waved his hand. Hundreds of golden blood silk condensed from his own golden blood. Thread shot out, these 100 golden blood silk thread twisted and squirmed, intertwined with each other, forming a golden light and brilliant shield directly behind Yang Kai.